What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my sacred space. My name is Lauren Victoria. I'm a mental health therapist and intuitive energy worker, and I specialize in healing and wellness through the intersections of mental health and spirituality. Now, in this video, I'm going to be offering a collective tarot reading for the full moon in Virgo that's coming up on March 7th, right? So it's right around the corner. If the new moon is the start of this cycle and it represents a time of birth and preparation, then the full moon you can consider the harvest, right? So the moon is at its biggest and brightest in the sky, illuminating everything that is and is not working for us. And most rituals around the full moon have to do with releasing what is not working. So with the full moon in Virgo, we can think about the traits, values, and lessons that Virgos teach us, and perhaps what the sign is asking us to release. So I'm going to read an excerpt from my Black Moon astrology cards. Y'all know I'm trying to learn astrology, okay? So we're gonna learn it together. Worry and organization are key traits of the sign Virgo. Virgo is picky and exacting. They can be insanely organized. They are very helpful to others. They tend to be critical, but usually most critical to themselves. They are conscientious and highly intelligent. Virgo natives prefer to step back and analyze before moving ahead. The sign Virgo governs the sixth house of health, natural remedies, and analysis. Diet and nutrition are also dominant themes of this Mercury-ruled sign. So when we think about the full moon in Virgo, it's an opportunity to either release things that are blocking this Virgo energy, or perhaps some things that are causing an excess of the energy. For example, if you are an overthinker, right, overcritical, or perhaps somebody who is a bit of a control freak, then this might be a time to release a little bit of that. Versus if you're somebody who lives very free-spirited and you have no concept of time. Trust me, I've been there. You have no concept of time. You eat whatever you want and wonder why you feel terrible. Virgo might be asking you to release some of that disorganization and fall into Virgo's energy of structure. So with that in mind, I'm just going to get right into it, and I'm going to pull a divine abundance card for us. So I love to start my readings with the divine abundance card because it is an opportunity to have gratitude for the message that we have at hand, right? To remember that no matter what we hear, there is a blessing in it as long as we shift our mind to focus on it. So today's divine abundance is worth. Today's divine abundance is worth. That is the abundance behind this moon cycle. Let me read the affirmation. You have been worthy to belong to love all along without any need to improve. In fact, you are love itself. Again, you have been worthy to belong to love all along without any need to improve. In fact, you are love itself. This is immediately spot on with Virgo. Immediately spot on with Virgo energy, which again can be super critical, especially to yourself. I feel like this reading is about to drag me, y'all, because I'm a Virgo. But anyway, this isn't about me, it's about y'all. So the value of this full moon cycle, the abundance behind it, is just stepping into your worth, right? Not playing small, no longer determining your worth based on what you have. Again, thinking about the Virgo sign as the earth, what is tangible. I think that perhaps if some of us are tying our worth into what it is that we have in this physical world, whether it be a paycheck, whether it be a car, whether it be a person, a specific relationship, right? This is a time of release, so that we can know what it is our true worth is when we stand alone. When we stand alone, not because of our achievements, not because of our labor, just because of our heart, because of our spirit and our values. So let's check in with the tarot to see what we can apply to this particular cycle. So first, I'm going to be looking at an area of organization. So we have the moon, And just like we talked about in the beginning of this video, the moon reminds us that everything happens in seasons. There are cycles to our lives, especially as women, right? But just in general, anything that is natural, anything that is organic life in this world operates in cycles and seasons. And what I'm hearing is that we can start to organize by falling in alignment with the seasons. You know, that was a really big part of my healing journey, was recognizing that I was living in a very capitalistic and exploitive world, where I felt like I had to monetize everything that I was doing. I felt like I had to take on 8 different jobs, right? 8 different careers. I was always working, and I had this idea that my capacity for labor, that my capacity for productivity and output was directly tied to my worth, right? But when I learned, hey, the moon moves in cycles, right? There's a time for rest. There is a time for productivity. There's a time, even as women, that we are more creative, right? Every biological rhythm, hormonal balance, that it happens in seasons and windows in our bodies. And that goes for every gender, every human body. And when we recognize that we can expect to feel, to do, to think the same things every single day at the same rate, because it is unsustainable, right? That is when we start to find the abundance and the ease of what we are worth, even during rest, right? What we are worth, even in creativity, even if it's not something worth, that we feel like we can monetize, because we don't sing like Beyonce, so we can't make, we can't make a music career out of it, or we don't paint like Da Vinci, so we don't want to paint. I think the moon reminds us that it is okay to be in the spaces that you're in, because they will soon pass, right? So I think that some of us, in the message of organization, some of us can just really start to perhaps release some of our fixations with time, release our fixations with perfectionism, right? And the specific way that things need to look, and just allow things to be. Allow things to be, whether that is, again, in your environment, whether that is in your workload, whether that is in your mind, right? Just taking things for what they are, and recognizing that seasons are here and they will pass, So what is it that we can create boundaries around? Where do we need more structure and boundaries, maybe even clarification in for this full moon in Virgo energy? Let's see. So what I'm hearing is that you guys have been taking action, right? Or at the very least preparing to take action. And the Knight of Wands is the card I pulled, right? But the Knight is a very fast moving card. The Knight is all about go, go, go. And especially of Wands, right? Being that fire element, then what I'm hearing is that, again, this is a direct reflection of how fast and how hard some of you guys have been working and moving. So, I want to clarify that there's nothing wrong with the ambition, the inspiration, right? There's nothing wrong with chasing your dreams, or, chasing your goals. That is not a small deal, that you sit and you can visualize and imagine the life you want to live, right? That you have creative ideas and business ideas that you just sit on and never put anywhere. Even if you aren't ready to charge forward, you can honor the downloads, right? Honor the connections and the messages being sent to you by the divine, by having a structure, a place where you put, record the thoughts. Because this can also be, in the spirit of Virgo, the rapid thoughts, right? So having a space to kind of structure them out, put them down somewhere and get them out of your mind. to free yourself up can be really beneficial. The moon reminds us that it's not all a chase. We can also sit back and attract, right? So the balance of this masculine energy and the feminine energy is telling us it is also progress in reaching your goals to take a nap. Let's look at service. How can we be of service to others? Virgos are natural healers. And I don't just say that because I'm a Virgo and they're the best sign in the world. But Virgos are natural healers because of their ability to empathize, their connection to nature, and their ability to see patterns going on. So when it comes to healing, geez Louise, when it comes to healing, when it comes to the message that you can show to others, the way that you can be of service to others, we have temperance. Y'all, I can't make this spread up. Temperance is a card of balance. It is a card that says, okay, moderation, right? A little bit here, a little bit there. I'm not going to overfill my cup. I'm not going to burn myself out. I'm also not going to sleep for 12 hours a day, right? I will make sure that I have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. There will be a time for this and a time for that. So when we think about balance, this is the ultimate, this is the ultimate message of this spread, I think, is approaching things. Again, thinking about what you wanted to manifest with that Pisces new moon, because again, we're halfway through that point. And this message is telling us that, hey, sis, you're doing a good job. Sis or bro, you're doing a good job, right? Don't do too much, right? Not too much. So when we remember that we don't have to burn ourselves out because our worth isn't only tied to reaching that goal, right? It's the process. Then we can be more compassionate. We can live a little bit softer. We can have and find the peace in the now versus always being present, right? Not present, I'm sorry, forward oriented. You know, that's the nature of anxiety, right? The nature of anxiety is not being in the present moment because you're so busy worried about the next one. So whether that's 5 minutes from now, 5 days from now, or 5 years from now, when you overly concern yourself with what is coming up and not what is right in front of you, then you are prone to anxiety. You're prone to that worry versus being able to say, I'm going to, instead of looking at where the grass is greener or where I think the grass will be greener or where I think my grass could be threatened, I'm just going to water my grass now. I'm going to keep my garden afloat now, right? So there is ultimately a lesson of self-care and nourishment, I think, also behind temperance. I think that, some of y'all don't want to hear this, but I think that there's perhaps a fast somewhere in here. Sorry, y'all, my camera died. But as I was saying, some of y'all ain't want to hear that so bad. Y'all conspiring against me. No, I'm just kidding. I think some of us can take a little fast, especially if there has been something that has been causing excess worry, right? Or causing a feeling for excess control. Being able to walk away from those things because we trust, right? We trust the cycles, we trust the nature of life to work themselves out. That can give you a lot of peace and a lot of inner power. So, I don't know what y'all's, exact vices, whether they be, substances, whether they be people, whether they be thoughts. I don't know what those vices are for you. You know best for yourself, but I do recommend, considering what would it look like to fast, even if it's just for one day. Again, Virgo also rules diet, it rules health. This type of energy, this type of creativity is not sustainable if you're eating like shit. Ooh, Ooh, y'all ain't want to hear that. I knew y'all wouldn't want to hear it. This type of energy is unsustainable if you do not allow yourself to rest, right? To have a cycle for rest, for sleep, for pleasure. Oh, y'all not ready to hear me though? How can you be inspired if you never get off of social media and look at other people's inspirations? Baby. This is a free reading, so I won't drag y'all too much harder, but you know, there's a lot of things that all of us could be fasting from, and ways that can make our lives better and clear up some of that inspiration and progress towards our goals we're trying to have. If you want some more specific inklings, you can book an individual reading with me at thahighestpriestess.com. But in the meantime, let's just get into a final message from the moon before my phone dies again. Purity. Interesting. So purity is the message that the moon has for us, and honestly what I think it represents is a blank slate. It's a blank slate. And you know, because Virgo overanalyzes and has a lot of capacity to hold up here, we can assign a lot of meaning, right? And make a lot of stories, create a lot of narratives that can follow us throughout life, right? I don't try these things because they will end up this way. I don't hang around this type of people because they're this way. I can't do this because it's always been that way. And this is another side of the moon card that talks about the way that we project our internal worlds, our emotions, right? Our subconscious onto reality. So I think that this is an opportunity to take some rest, right? To take some rest, to slow down so that we can finally feel the clarity of our own intuition, the clarity of our own inspiration, our own motivation, right? What gets us moving? Why are we doing this in the first place? It's hard to tell, right? If you're in the process of sprinting at your fastest capacity. Slow down. Give yourself a time to make new meaning. Give yourself a time to determine your worth outside of the external sources that you associate and connect yourself with. Right? So at the end of the day, this is a beautiful, beautiful message about redefining what it is you're doing and why, and recognizing that you are good enough, you are worthy of everything that you want. And it's not just because you're breaking your neck. Okay, sorry to interrupt that reading, but my phone is running out of storage, so we just gotta wrap that reading up there. I hope you got everything you needed out of it, and I hope you find your worth this moon cycle. Visit me at thahighestpriestess.com for spiritual life coaching, astrology, and tarot readings, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.